Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be making a shawl. I don't think I've ever done one on the channel. I've made shawls before, but for some reason I just haven't featured one on the channel. I did kind of like a cowl shawl, but not like a shawl. So this is a shawl. And for this project I am going to be using my G hook or 4.25mm hook. And I have this beautiful, I think this is probably like a fingering weight yarn here, and it is a wool yarn. It's super beautiful. I bought it at a local yarn store that I went to when I went to visit this old town that I guess it is an old town, but it's a town that I used to live in, and I went to visit last summer and I bought the yarn there. So to get started, what you'll need to do is we will need to chain 2. So in our second chain from our hook, we are going to work 6 single crochet. So this is a fairly straightforward shawl pattern. It really only has a 2-row repeat after you get done the setup row, or setup rows. There's a couple setup rows. Okay, so I have my 6 single crochet. I'm just going to pull that to close that little hole there closed. So let's get ready for row 2. And excuse my, I have vitiligo and it's summer and it always shows up more. So if you're wondering what that is, that's what it is. Alright, so let's chain 4. And this will count as a triple crochet stitch. And we're going to turn our work. And we are going to work 4 more triple crochet in this first stitch here. So we will have a total of 5. So we have 3, we need to work 2 more. Okay, so we have our 5 triple crochet, and again that chain 4 counts as a stitch. Alright, so we are going to work, most of this pattern consists of triple crochet stitches, so we are going to skip our next single crochet and we're going to work 2 triple crochet in the next. Okay, so now we are going to work 2 triple crochet in the one that we skipped, but we are going to do it in a specific way. So we're going to work in front of the stitches. So it's not going to be a cable stitch or anything like that, but we're just working in front. So what you want to do is, here's that triple crochet stitch that we skipped. You're going to want to insert your hook this way, pointing towards your body. So it's not, it might sound strange, but it's really not that hard at all. If you're an experienced crocheter, you won't have any issue with this. So you just want to make sure your hook's pointing towards you, and then just insert your hook right into that skipped stitch and work that triple crochet. So what you want to make sure that this stitch is freestanding. So what I mean by that, it's not connected by anything. So you can see it's freestanding all on its own. So we're going to work another one in the same way in that stitch. So my hook's pointing towards me, and then I'm just working. Oops, yep, we're going to do it. Okay. So just like that. So both of these guys, they're free standing like that. Okay, so let's focus. Thank you. Alright, so in the next single crochet, we are going to skip that guy and we're going to work 2 triple crochet in the next, just like we did previously. And working the second one in there. And so we are going to work in front again, my hook pointing towards me. So I'm going to yarn over twice and right in that skipped stitch, working those 2 triple crochet. So now we have one more stitch, our last single crochet. We are going to work 5 triple crochet in that last single crochet, so it's right there. And I'm just working 5 triple crochet stitches. Now with this pattern, you will be able to make your shawl as large or as small as you would like. So I'm basically just going to work until I run out of yarn. So hopefully it will result in a decent sized shawl for me. That's what I had to do. I've already made one and I wanted it bigger, but I didn't have enough yarn. So, but it's still, I think it's blocked out really nice. It's currently drying as we speak, and you will have seen it in the intro, but I would have preferred it, I think, a little bit bigger, but you know, I might make a couple of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so row 2 is all set. So let's begin row 3. We're going to chain 4. Turn our work, and we are going to work 4 triple crochet in that stitch, or also known as treble crochet. I had someone school me and told me that triple crochet is not a real stitch, it's treble crochet. Well, treble means triple, and just depending on what you learned, I learned it as triple, some people learned it as treble. It is the same stitch. I thought it was kind of funny. I could have gotten upset, but I really was like, really? Okay. Okay, so we have our 5 stitches. So we're going to yarn over twice. So we're going to skip 2 triple crochet, and we're going to work a triple crochet in the next triple crochet. And row 3 is the start of the 2-row repeat. So you're going to be repeating this row and then another row for however long you want your shawl. Okay, so now we need to work in the ones we skipped. So now we are going to work behind. And again, it's going to be freestanding. It's not as hard as you think. So I've got my yarn over, I've yarned over twice. I'm just going to put my hook behind. And right in that first triple crochet we skipped, I'm inserting my hook and working my triple crochet stitch. Again, we want these guys to be freestanding too. And so I'm going to go and work in the next one. So once you get familiar with this, it really is not difficult, so don't overthink it. Okay, so we're basically just crossing, we're making like X's. And it's going to make a really cool like zigzag effect. Alright, so after that we're going to chain 2. And we are going to skip 2 triple crochet and work triple crochet in the next 2 stitches. And we are going to work behind. So in that first one we skipped, work your triple crochet, and then work the triple crochet in the next one. So just like working in the front, these stitches, so you can see they're freestanding, they're not connected by anything like a cable or a post stitch. So we are going to chain 2, keep going, and we're going to skip the next 2 and work triple crochet. So for this row, you're just going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, work triple crochet, and then work behind and work in the ones that you skipped, and then chain 2. And you're going to keep doing that across because this is going to grow until, oops, yeah, there we go. That's a problem, I can't talk and stitch at the same time. So this is going to to keep growing. So you're gonna, oh my word, I didn't yarn over twice. Again, I'm talking and sorry about that. All right, let me be silent and work these stitches. Okay, so I'm going to chain 2 again, and we are going to do the same thing. So you're just going to be working the groups of 4, working behind here and chaining 2 until we get to our very last stitch. All right, so I'm going to skip 2 and work my triple crochet in the next 2, and then I will work behind. And yeah, I'm going to talk again. I'm going to try to do this. So I didn't state in the beginning, but with this pattern, you can use pretty much any yarn that you like. I do suggest a yarn that has a little bit of a natural fiber in it so that it can block out, or it has a nice drape to it, and you know, any hook size. So if you don't like working with finer yarns, you can certainly do this pattern with a thicker yarn and a larger hook. It's completely fine. Okay, so now we are at our very last stitch. So on top of that chain 4, we are going to work 5 triple crochet. I don't mind working with finer yarns, so I'm completely fine with it, but I know some people really don't enjoy working with finer yarns, so that's completely okay. If you prefer heavier yarn, certainly feel free. That just means that your shawl will be a little bit larger, which is completely fine. So we need to work 1 more stitch. Alright, so there we go. So row 3 is complete. So now let's work row 4. And this will be part of the repeat, so we're going to chain 4, turn our work, and just like we started for row 3, we're going to work 4 triple crochet in that same stitch. And also with this shawl pattern, it is completely reversible, so no right or wrong sides, which is nice. And 1 more stitch, because we want a total of 5, because again that chain 4 does count as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now we are going to skip 2 stitches and work triple crochet in the next 2. So there's 1, and there is 2. So now we are going to work in the front. So row 3 you work behind, and row 4 you work in front. So if you remember, you're going to have your hook pointed towards you, cross over in the front, and then just insert your hook. It's not that hard, because I'm doing it over a camera. It's a little more challenging, but it really isn't that hard. But you're probably like, I don't want to do this stitch, it's too fiddly. It really isn't. It's actually pretty mindless. I made mine actually while I was on the one I finished on vacation, so my mind was pretty checked out. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to chain 2, and we are going to repeat that. We're going to skip 2, and we're going to work triple crochet in the next 2. And we're going to cross in front. See, that was a little bit smoother there. Okay, so now we are going to chain 2, and we're going to keep repeating this around until we get to the end. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2 and we're just going to repeat that. So I'm going to finish that up off camera, and then I'll show you what we're going to do at the end. Okay, I'm almost at the end, so I'm going to chain 2, skipping the next 2, working my triple crochet in the next 2. And now we need to work in the front, working in the 2 we skipped. Oh my goodness. I can crochet, I promise. It's not looking like it right now, goodness gracious. Alright, so now we are at our very last stitch. We are going to work 5 triple crochet in on top of that chain 4. Alright, so there we go. And it does seem a little bunchy in the beginning. I think a lot of shawls are like that. But there is row 4. So what you want to do is you're going to repeat rows 3 and 4 for however large you want your shawl. And then once you have your shawl is pretty much as big as you want, then there is just, I believe it's 3 rows to finish it. I'll have to go back and look at my notes, but so then you would just work 3 more rows and then your shawl will be done. Okay, so here we go. Here is my shawl. We are going to get ready for the edging. So as you can see, what you're going to notice is it will kind of like do this little poof thing when you're first starting, but when you block it, that will straighten that self out, so don't quite panic. So that's why I do recommend using a natural fiber when you're doing this project. So either cotton, this is a wool. I finished one that if you've seen any of my catching up videos, so here it is. This is linen, and this guy, she just blocked out like a dream. And let's see here. So yeah, here is that beginning area, and see we're all nice and flat there. So that's the magic of blocking. So if you used an acrylic yarn, which doesn't always block the best, what you could do to help with that is give it a little bit of a steam block. So you could use your iron. So if you didn't have a steamer, you could use an iron, and what I suggest is you would have it wet, not dripping wet, but wet, and I like to lay like a towel over it and just spread that out and just gently steam that on there just to help that guy lay a little flat. But if you use a natural fiber yarn, it's a lot easier to block, because then once it's dry, it tends to hold its shape. So I ended up working 24 rows here, because this is all I've got left, so I want to have enough to make my edging. So it's going to be a smaller shawl, which is fine. I still think it's going to be really pretty. So once you have your shawl, basically as long as you would like, then you need to work on then it's time to work on the edging. So to start off, for our first edging row, we're going to chain 6. And I am turning my work. And you can end on whatever row. It doesn't matter which row that you ended on, either a row 3 or a row 4. It's completely fine with this project here. So I'm not even sure which row did I end on here. So it looks like I ended on a row 4, but I could have ended on a row 3. That would have been okay. Okay, so we have our 6 chains here, and what we're going to do is we are going to work a double crochet decrease. I learned them as decrease. Some people know them as a together. They're the same stitch. So we've got our yarn over and our hook. We're going to insert our hook in that next stitch and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. So we have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through the remaining 3. And we're going to do that again, do another decrease. So I've got my yarn over, pulling up my loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 3. So after we've done that, we're going to chain 3, and we are going to single crochet in this space here. And now we're going to chain 3 again. And we're going to work our decrease again. Double crochet decrease in the next 2 stitches. And decrease again. So we're decreasing across these triple crochet stitches here. And now we're going to chain 3 again. So this is our repeat here. So we're chaining 3. We're going to single crochet around that chain 2 space, chain 3, and now we are going to work our decrease stitches 2 times, and 1 decrease is worked over 2 stitches. So we're working 2 double crochet decrease stitches, and chaining 3. So we're back to our repeat. Oops. Single crochet around that chain 2 space, chaining 3, working the decrease stitches. So I'm going to repeat this across until I get to the end of my row, and I'll show you how we will finish up the row once I get to the end here. So you'll just want to work across doing this repeat until you get to So you're going to work across, and you're going to work in this space. So we don't have a chain 2 here because we didn't chain 2. I did think about chaining 2, but a couple prototypes I made, the reason why I didn't do a chain 2 right away was it was curving up way too much. It just wasn't laying right. So it worked best to not have it, in case you were wondering. And so we're going to work that single crochet in that space, chain 3, then you're going to work a decrease again, and then we'll finish it up. But I will meet you back when I get there just so you can see it. Okay, so I'm almost to the end of my row here of our first row of our edging. I'm a little nervous about my yarn situation, but we're going to cross all our fingers and toes and hope we have enough. All right, so we are going to chain 3. So now we're at that space that there's no chain 2, but we're still going to single crochet around there. And then we're going to chain 3 and work our last 2 decrease stitches, our double crochet decrease. So now we are at our last stitch. So we need to work on top of this chain 4 here. So we are going to chain 3 and work a double crochet on top of that chain 4. And then our first row will be complete of our edging. So let's begin our second row of our edging. There's 3 rows of edging. So we are going to chain 6 And we're going to turn our work. And so what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet around that chain 3 space. And we're going to chain 3. And now we are going to work another double crochet decrease. We're just working one. So right in that first stitch, we're going to insert our hook and work half of that decrease, and then we need to insert our hook into the next stitch to complete it. So there we go, we have our double crochet decrease. So now we are going to chain 3. We're going to single crochet around the next chain 3 space. We're going to chain 3 again, single crochet around the next chain 3 space, and chain 3. And now we are going to work the next double crochet decrease. So this is the start of our repeat here. And oops, keep your hook in the loop there. Alright, so now we're going to continue with the repeat. I'll repeat it for you. So we're going to chain 3, single crochet around the next chain 3 space, chain 3, lots of chain 3s, single crochet around the next chain 3 space, and chain 3 yet again, and work that double crochet decrease or together stitch, and just continue to repeat that across, and then I will keep doing this until I get to the end of my row. Okay, so I am about at the end of my row here, and my yarn situation's looking a wee bit dire. Not sure if we're going to make it with this. I will show you. That's what we're for the last row. I don't know, it's probably not going to be enough, but we'll see what we can do. Alright, so I have finished my last decrease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3, and I am going to single crochet around that chain 6, and then I'm going to chain 3 again, and I'm going to work a double crochet on top. This is the chain 6, so it consists of a double crochet and a chain 3 space. So what you want to do is count from the bottom, so 1, 2, 3, and then work a double crochet to complete the second row of our edging there. So now we're going to get ready for the last row. Okay, so for the last row we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. There we go. And in this first chain 3 space we are going to work a shell, and we're going to work 5 double crochet in that space. That will be our shell stitch. And then in our next stitch we're going to work a single crochet around that chain 3. And now we are at our decrease. So in the decrease stitch you're going to work a single crochet. Sorry about that, my battery went kaputs. Okay, so in that first decrease stitch you're going to work a single crochet, then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to single crochet right back in that stitch, and we're just creating like a little nub there. And now we are going to single crochet in the next chain 3 space, and then in the next one, this middle one here, we're working a shell stitch. So that 5 double crochet we are going to work. Okay, there's our 5 double crochet. So we're going to start our repeat here. We're going to single crochet around the next chain 3 space, single crochet in the next decrease stitch, chain 2, single crochet right back in that same stitch, and we're going to single crochet again in the next chain 3, and then we work our shell stitch in the next chain 3 space. So that's our 5 double crochet. So I'll repeat that one more time. So after that shell, the repeat, so single crochet in the next chain 3 space, single crochet in the decreased stitch, chain 2, single crochet back in that same stitch, single crochet in the next chain 3 space, and then work the shell. And we're going to repeat that across, and I'm going to really cross my fingers and toes, hoping I have enough yarn. We'll see. If not, I might have to switch it out and add a different color as like a little trim. I'm not sure, so we'll figure it out. Okay, so I will meet you back. Okay, so we are going to finish up this row. So unfortunately, I realized as I was working on it, I did not have enough yarn, so I ended up having to rip back all of the edging rows and then another row so that I would have enough yarn. But here we are. So this is the final row of edging, and we're almost to the end here. So I'm just going to work in that last decreased stitch of the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then we are going to single crochet in that next chain 3 space. And so in this last space here, we are going to work 5 double crochet our shell, okay, so there's our 5, and then we need to work 1 more double crochet on top of the chain 3, so I'm counting from the bottom, 1, 2, and 3, and working that double crochet, and then you can cut your yarn. And your shawl is all done. So this shawl is not going to be that big, but fortunately I have small shoulders, so it should be fine for me. So what you'll want to do is, of course, weave in any loose ends, and then you definitely will want to give this a really good block to open it up. And also, as I said before about that area, because it's kind of bunched up there, but once you block it and open it up, it's fine. And when you block it, it'll actually, the edges will just curve up a little bit that way. And so that's why I suggest using something like yarn with natural fiber. Even if you are if you're an acrylic lover, which is nothing wrong with that, I do suggest if you want to really use acrylic, they do make some that have cotton mixed with acrylic, or maybe even some acrylic with wool, and that will help you with a better block. Because so that this shawl can really, the stitches can be shown off to their maximum there. But I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.